Crew of Galactica. People of the fleet. This is Admiral Adama. 3 years ago, I promised to lead you to a new home. We've endured a difficult journey. We've all lost. We've all suffered. And the truth is, I questioned whether this day would ever come. But today, our journey is at an end. We have arrived at Earth.
One of the things that I like most about the show is the complexity of the characters and also the journey that every character goes through. So I was wondering for the actors, what was kind of your favorite character moment or sort of the epitome or essence of the journey that the character went on for you?
Okay, I'll go. For me, I think it was really kind of the Gina Pegasus stuff. That was the first kind of real departure and got me to kind of be able to get my chops going a little bit in a different way and not be kind of so glamorous at all. And it was just a lot of fun, which sounds really odd to say, but it was a challenge, and I like challenges, so that's I think for me.
My character's role in this series has just increased every single season, so I'm so happy about that. Every time I read, a new episode where I'm much more involved, or the storyline, doesn't center around me so much, but I'm directly involved with the mission and the main plot line. That's flattering for me.
When I was sent down to New Caprica, I did not want to go. I didn't think Tigh should be going. I happened to be reading a book, coincidentally, about the Battle of Trafalgar, and I thought the similarities between the British Navy and what we're doing on Battlestar Galactica, being at sea for years, was very... And they're career soldiers, they're career sailors. So when I read the script of me going down to New Caprica, I said, no, I wouldn't go. And I was sent down to New Caprica. And look at, as an actor, what I got out of being sent down there with being incarcerated and the whole arc. So that was a gift.
This is a fragging joke.
You're the only man I can trust to command this ship.
Well, maybe you're crazy enough to pull a stunt like this, but you can't be crazy enough to leave me in charge. In case you forgot, my last term at the helm was a complete disaster.
I know for Duala, she finds such comfort and such peace in the routine and the regularity and the knowingness of where you are and what you stand for that the military gives you.
It's a great arc for Anders. I think Anders has spent most of his life searching. I think he's been on a quest for identity, and this is another cog in the wheel.
I've loved this season for Lee. I've really enjoyed the political thing. I've really enjoyed him exercising a different muscle, and I love the relationship with President Roslin, and I've loved playing that more this year. That's something that we put to a side, I think, after the miniseries of season 1. It's been great to go head to head with Laura.
Look, I take no pleasure in putting this before you. In fact, they practically had to push me through that door.
Well, I'm sure you're quite happy to stay.
I can't put one foot in front of another without someone blocking my path, asking me what the hell is going on for the welfare of the fleet.
Excuse me. As long as I am in this office, the welfare of this fleet is not something you need to worry about.
There's a lot of times when I'm playing Laura, I need to truly define a line between us, politically, emotionally, sometimes even our thought process. So my natural process is so different from what Laura's response has had to develop into in order to ensure her position.
And I was really, really happy to be able to work with Mary again, and Katee specifically, and going off and doing a separate mission. That stuff was awesome. We had a great time doing that.
I have enjoyed the entire process of this character from start to finish, and she and the show have far exceeded my expectations. So nothing really shocked me. I mean, you can't get shocked on this show. It's like every episode is so crazy that and so new and smart and interesting that you just can't, there's no way to ever say, oh wow, I didn't believe that.
Send a chill up my spine to walk back onto basically Battlestar Galactica 30 years later. And I remember the first day I walked onto the set, and basically just looked around. And even though certainly things have changed, and obviously the technology, the structure of the sets, everything is bigger, better, and more improved. But it still gave me a sense of deja vu walking back on this set and just thinking, my God, I'm back on Battlestar Galactica.
If you know you're going to leave something, everything is kind of has a different lining to it now.
I've had more conversations with cast members about specific stories and character arcs than probably in any of the previous seasons. And there's this bittersweet quality on the sound stages, and it affects everything. I mean, everyone is just really aware that this is the last run, and everyone's commitment to making it the very best that they can is very high.
Because of the complexity of the show, and because it's also spread out, and often you don't see other actors for quite a long time, for many episodes, there are some cases where I've already thought, this might be the last time I have a scene with you.
I used to joke that if I was invited back to the set on the second day, I took that as like a personal triumph. And yeah, I'm really surprised my character, made it as long as they did. I've just had a ball. One of the things that the axis that I've played on mostly is guilt. I don't think anybody's had as much guilt going on in their own head as Gaius Baltar has had, but then very few people can have, billions and billions of people being killed on their conscience.
I have no guilt. What was your guilt about?
I gave the access codes to the Cylons. They wiped out most of humanity.
It's not just guilt, actually. I realize it's shame, real shame, and if you have that, or that's pushing through you, I found it to be almost like a kind of lubricant, a fluid inside Gaius Baltar. It's like the thing that kind of makes this guy go, and getting rid of it, finding a redemption, has been like an exorcism. It's been incredible.
Cylons just blew a hole into deck 21. Fracking Cylons will be pouring in. Reconnect this!
Hi. Who's your favorite character? My favorite character?
We should vent the stage.
I don't know, I guess I really enjoy the Baltar character because he's very multi-dimensional. I enjoy him.
It's gotta be the cat. Because the cat was cool.
One I can relate to most? Probably be Baltar.
No, it would be a Colonel Tigh.
Hogan, of course.
This is the Robbie. This is the man. Who, without this man, without this man, this show would not be what it is today.
Yeah, we'd be
He's the guy that really makes the entire filming of this entire show possible.
Who's your favorite Battlestar character?
Boomer. Absolutely Boomer. And my daughter's a Starbuck fan, pretty much.
Oh, I'd probably have to say Adama.
Any reason?
Just his way of commanding the crew, I think. Yeah, overall, for sure.
The boss man.
Yeah.
Deanna.
I really like Tigh. He's a really cool kind of guy, and I like Starbuck a lot too.
Baltar. I just got a new kitten and I named him Baltar because he's too cool.
Tigh for sure.
Oh, 6. Without a doubt. Starbuck close second.
That's what I said.
Everybody's my favorite character.
Wrong.
Yeah, everybody's my favorite character. I love you all.
Actually, with the writer's strike, that could have been the very end of Battlestar, too. That was what was floating around the set, because we had finished shooting the first 10 almost exactly in time with when the WJ went out on strike. And so there was a lot of speculation that if the show never came back, if the strike really crippled the industry permanently and they had to cancel the show, that would have been the end. And that was like, oh, that would kind of suck. And they got to Earth and it was really bad. The end. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
I think there's obviously a feeling amongst us, especially with this strike now inevitable, that I think we're getting the first real sense that the show could possibly be over now, or we might not come back for a long time, or who knows what's going to happen. So everyone's sort of feeling that, I think, the last couple of days.
We're just terrified of being out of work. That's pretty much it. Scared to death that when this is over, we'll all be unemployable.
You're going to have to come in early in the morning, right? You're going to have to come in earlier than 10. What delivery?
We've arrived.
Yeah. Yep.
On a beach in November, and that's Earth, and that's it. We're done as far as we're concerned on Battlestar Galactica because we've got no words to say. We're on strike. Lucy Lawless has left the sinking ship, and sorry, there's not much more I can say.
Say again, Apollo. I cannot copy your last transmission.
Without revealing too much, because I know there's certain places we can't go yet, what do they do for the next 10 episodes? Just sit around like, why didn't we stay where we were?
There's a fair amount of that. There's a fair amount of recrimination and sort of wondering where they go next and what do they do with the knowledge that they do discover, as they sort of explore Earth and what it means and what's happened on that planet and, what it all means to each of them. And then this story continues, I think, in unexpected ways. And there's just a tremendous amount of upheaval, Things aren't pretty on Battlestar for a while.
I think before Ron and David announced that the show was ending, there was a lot of griping going on in the cast, and I think when everyone realized it was the last show, they all settled down and realized that they were going to enjoy the moment, that this was a very special it's a special show, great story, great characters, great group of people to work with, great crew, and that they had an opportunity to do something really special and finish with a bang.
I'm sure a lot of these people have watched all the DVDs, been to panels before, so they know a lot about the history of the show. What I'd like to focus on today, more importantly, is you guys in the home stretch. You're almost done. Is it bittersweet, or you thank God it's finished?
It's hard. We wrapped production on the final episode of Battlestar about 3 weeks ago, something like that, and it was hard. It was a very emotional time for everybody. It was very difficult to sort of let the show go, but I think there was a general sense from all of us behind the scenes and the cast and just everybody associated with it that this was the time to end the story, that we'd reached a point in the tale that we were telling where it just felt like it was time to resolve it and time to put a period at the end of the sentence. And there's a great deal of satisfaction with being able to tell the end of your story that I think we all found.
I'd like to say that this has been one of the most extraordinary experiences I've ever undergone in my television film history.
I think we're just all very, very present and we want to have fun, This is it, so we really want to enjoy it. So there's almost that mood on set,
We know we have a limited amount of time to conclude everything, so at this point, we're sort of like in rock and roll mode through the entire last season.
Well, the atmosphere here on set, considering it's the last season, is pretty intense. Sometimes we, walk around, it's just kind of another day, but other times you kind of stop and get a moment and you're with that person maybe for the last time, or maybe you'll work again in the future, you don't know, so you have those special moments, and it's pretty interesting.
Knowing that this is the last season of the show has really affected everything that we do on the show from top to bottom. In terms of the writing of the show and the production of it, I think we're all painfully aware that this is it. This is senior year for Battlestar Galactica, and it really intensifies our drive to make every single episode a little gem. I think that's always been sort of, what was important to us over the course of the series, to always make each episode the best that we possibly could. but the sort of internal pressure of knowing that you're never going to get a chance to do this again, that this is it, this is the final run, has created this atmosphere where we're all really focused on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Knowing that it's the last season, I certainly think makes a lot of us appreciate and cherish every last moment.
Michael and I have a phrase we use a lot, which is taking care of business. And what that means is that we have to tell a great story. We have to move the audience. We have to communicate that we're doing it in a way that hasn't been seen before, but we better excite them. And we better make sure that they are scared when they're supposed to be scared, and that they're thrilled when they're supposed to be thrilled. And ultimately, if you fail on that front, then none of the other stuff matters.
There will be a resolution, we'll just say that, and the resolution will hopefully be very, very satisfying, but I think it's not going to be the resolution that you necessarily think we've set up to go towards.
It's pretty positive. Everyone is resigned that it's coming to an end. There'll be sadness, there'll be some tears shed eventually, but I think closer to the end. This stage, it is a kind of surreal thing. You're always kind of thinking in the back of your mind, you know, is this the last time? Is this the last time I say Dratus?
This show's always about that. It's always about big surprises. I mean, you know, sometimes I'm totally surprised at the direction they're going to take it, but it's good. That's part of the enjoyment I get from this job.
It's such a powerful experience having been involved with this for so many years, and you know, the show has had so much emotional potency and so much, you know, political transcendency. It really, you know, there's so many things you could look at and you know, try to identify as the best, you know, kick-ass moment.
There, I think, will be some enormous surprises coming in the upcoming shows, both on a character level and on a plot level. So, sort of devastating surprises. We lose some people. It's not a pleasant year on Battlestar. So, more of the fun.
I know what Ron's planning for the ending, but I don't know how Lee fits into it. Lee's never really been involved in the. I call this whole season is kind of a love. It's a will they, won't they love story between humans and Cylons. Will they get together and will they have babies and live happily ever after? Lee's never been really part of that.
If you've been watching Battlestar Galactica before, and if you think you know where we're going with the storylines, you have no idea what's in store for you. So I think for both sides, for fans of the show and people who are new to the show alike, there's going to be a real hook, a real definitive hook, and I think that they're going to find that it absolutely thwarts their expectations at every turn.
I actually...
Wipe it off. Don't wipe it off.
Is he gone yet?
Overall, it's totally positive. Everyone, I think, is relieved to know that there's a finiteness to the show and that it's going to end on a bang, and it's going to end the way that the team wants it to end, which is a rarity, I think, and it's not going to overstay its welcome either.
Really nice been working with you. I'll see you on the next show. Thank you.
Okay, take care now. Bye-bye then.
Next, Michael Reimer.
I just wrapped myself. I'm fine.
The ending is an ending, and it's. I think I can speak for all the cast, and tell Ron and tell you guys that it's utterly sublime, and it is a perfect way to finish this show. And it's very much. It took me by surprise. I remember the final read-through. It was a disgraceful orgy of self-indulgent tears and lower lip wibbling. As we got to the end, and the only thing to say is that it does everyone and everything justice, and you should watch it.
Well said.